Headline Bias Tracker for January 8th, 2024, covering Tesla and SpaceX. As a heads up, there will not probably be a video tomorrow. This schedule is killing me, and these take an outrageous amount of time when I'm not at my desktop because there's a whole lot of extra steps, and I'll just double up in following days to get us caught back up. Have two more big days of, let's see, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be big days. Thursday will be a partial day. Oh, wish me luck. Tesla Cybertruck keeps slipping, getting stuck in snow. Big news for those of you who are not familiar with physics or how things work. 8 interesting Cybertruck features, that's positive. Pharrell Williams has trouble parallel parking. Personal problem, but all right, still a negative headline. Tesla drastically downrates Model Y sound system. Oh no, you guys, this is terrible. Nope, it's only on the base model. The rear-wheel drive will now have 7 speakers instead of 13. It's still a great sound system, you just won't have the subwoofer. Get the next model up, don't know what to tell you. The price cuts are worth more than the add-on package for most people. Tesla range adjustments trigger several changes to vehicles. Neutral, because one of the big changes is that you can no longer have as a regen option none, because the regen is part of how you get the range, and the range is what's important on the sticker, so they've got to play to the sticker. Tesla features upgrade Model 3 Highland in US test drives. That's positive. And then we get back to the drug story. This is not a credible story. This is a single source rumor that runs contrary to any reasonable understanding. Nonsense. Bunch of headlines about BYD, mostly negative for Tesla, mostly calling BYD the new king. And this is not a kingdom. You can have more than one winner. So I'm not sure how that's a bad thing, but okay. Short sellers lost more money. It says only 2 days old. I've been covering this for more than 2 days, so I don't know what to tell you there. And then we've got a bunch of headlines about a crash, just a car crash. Guy speeding through town in Houston, drives too fast, crashes and dies. This is not the sort of thing that makes news when it's any other brand. We did see one case of a Ford pickup driver that made more than one headline, but this is pretty unique to tell. Cars crash from all brands all the time. They don't make the news. Tesla recalls in China. Nope, not a recall. It's not what they call it. You only call it a recall because that's what it's called in the US, and for no good reason, not a recall. Tesla crash. Tesla Cybertruck gets less than 80% of range at 70 miles an hour in the cold. Not how the range is calculated, but okay. Real world test of Tesla Cybertruck range broke another of Elon's promise. You guys, he promised me. He didn't promise you nothing. This isn't the new Tesla Model Y. Neutral? I don't know what to make of that. I'm not clicking on it. It's not worth it. Jose has been knocking them out of the park lately over at Clean Technica. Good work. Top electric vehicle brands in the world, BYD and Tesla, in a different universe. Jose does a lot of good work there. I've met a number of folks from Clean Technica, Joe and Paul. Great people. And I've got some videos with Paul coming up. This Fox News segment about a Tesla road trip from Chicago to New York is just dumb. Have you heard about it? They tested the Model W, and it's not very stressful because it just plots the course for you, except when you ignore it, and then it is stressful. And also, it costs the same amount to charge as gas. No, it doesn't. It sounds like you don't buy your own gas, my friend, or you've never looked at prices. Samsung collaboration, the drug story. Most Tesla investors won't care about Musk's drug use allegation. That sounds neutral, but it's not. You put drug use in the title. So the crash slashes range complaints, and that's where this ends for today. That's 25. Negative 44. The euphoria we saw yesterday has evaporated. Trailing 7-day of negative 32. That's a big drop on the trailing average. Yesterday, it was above zero, and here we are, negative 44. What a precipitous fall. Despite really no new news, the allegations were not new today, but everybody's repeating them, even though they don't make sense. SpaceX always gets good coverage. Big stories today, this week. Vulcan has launched, new competitor, new challenger. I'm not calling that negative because it is a new challenger, and people reading this headline are not satellite consumers. We don't buy satellites. So this doesn't affect us. It's good for us to just know what's going on. That's factual enough. SpaceX launches satellites. Yes, factual. SpaceX knocks out Sunday launch before ULA Vulcan's first flight. I'm calling that positive because you used superlatives that, make it sound cooler than it is. Drugs, drugs, drugs. Oh, so much fun in college. I didn't really have that college experience, but I did have fun. Experienced the launch of NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission. We're going to see a couple of those. SpaceX sues U.S. Labor Board. It's a neutral headline. There's one negative. I don't know if it made the top 25, but it explained it a little more, making it potentially negative, but I don't think it made the 25, so it don't count. NASA to push back moon mission timelines amid spacecraft delays. Doesn't say whose spacecraft, but we're searching SpaceX, and this comes up. That makes it a negative headline. North Texans see strange lights in the sky. Neutral. Starlink threat appears. Negative. Oklahomans see odd moving lights in the sky Sunday night. Now, normally in Oklahoma, you don't see the deployment trains, the satellite trains, before they get into orbit. So this is kind of a big deal. But still a neutral headline. We've got a positive one coming up of the same story. Lowering hardware price by 21%. Positive. First U.S. lunar lander in more than 50 years headed to the moon. Positive. NASA SpaceX. Positive. And then a couple of neutral ones here. Sues the Labor Board over firings. It's the same stories over and over. Vulcan rocket's first launch. Did you see it? This is the positive one. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launch visible in Oklahoma Sunday night. So I guess it wasn't the train. It was actually the rocket itself. Very exciting stuff. Oh yeah, I guess it would have. Okay. ULA's new rocket, but can it challenge SpaceX? No, I think the last one is down here. Drug use. And as SpaceX satellites launch, can it avoid lawsuits back on Earth? Terrible. You should feel bad. That's a bad headline. So let's take a look. SpaceX media bias +4. Week over week change of 0. Dead flat. It was +4 last week. It's this yellow line here. Dead flat. So even those drug allegations couldn't bring it down. Dead flat. SpaceX gets pretty good coverage because the people who are going to read these articles are not enticed by the same kind of clickbait. The only reason the drug story showed up is because those stories included SpaceX in them. Even when it's not necessarily relevant, Elon is not involved intimately in the day-to-day operations of SpaceX, and SpaceX is not publicly traded. Oh, you guys, I'm having so much fun here at CES in Las Vegas, getting some good coverage. We'll have plenty to share. There should be stories on that starting in the next day or so. As I get the rest of the files over to Rosh to edit. He's doing great work. The delay is not on his end, but mine. Talk to you soon.